men for?
Tell us again what we even need men for. I'm real confused.
Dream work makes the dream work.
Whoa.
We need your sperm. We can just like get a little syringe for that. I think.
Whoa.
So,
Well, I mean,
if I'm
Praying mantis style, y'all just
need a
use men
man.
for sex, get their sperm, kill them off. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet. Tell us.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah. And then you just see all these women around the table who are like, go off, sis, No. Put it back in and don't let it out again. Because it's just this idea that we don't need no man. We're independent. We're strong, independent women. And all men are good for is to help us procreate. And then once that's done, get rid of the children. It's exactly what's wrong with our society right now, in my opinion. And we are growing up in this age where not only do we not value men and masculinity, we just tell them they're not necessary whatsoever. And we just need them to fulfill this one thing so that we can have kids. But God forbid a man get on a podcast and be like, yeah, I just want to do the deed with women and not do anything else and then go about my business. That's a misogynist. That guy is a meninist, misogynist pig. But a woman who gets on and says, oh, well, that's all we need men for anyways, and they don't have any other value other than that, is cheered on by the modern day feminist movement and called a girl boss and is told that she's a feminist queen for saying the things that she's saying. Do you see where our standards are not only are our standards not high, but they're not even at all. And to get on and say something like this and have a bunch of women just be like, yeah, it's so true, you're so right, go off. This is exactly what's wrong. And why you could go as far as to say modern day feminism has contributed to a lot of the ruin that we're experiencing right now. When you look around at our world and see that the United States specifically is experiencing the highest rate of single parenthood on the earth, on this planet, on this rock that we're floating on, the United States of America has the highest rate of single parenthood. Why would that be? When we live in a somewhat flourishing, we can talk about the present day economy, but a somewhat flourishing country that tries to uphold the ideas and values that it was founded on. Why are we experiencing this rate of single parenthood? Maybe it's because we're telling young women that you don't need men and that they're just there to create the child, and then you can shoo them away. And if they try to come back, you better make sure that they're Prince Charming. In fact, don't even give him a second chance, because Prince Charming doesn't need a second chance. Prince Charming has it right the first time, and you'll find a man. And don't even worry about finding him when you're young. Pursue your career until you're like 35 and then go, hey guys, I'm ready to get married and have a kid. And then when you hear the crickets chirping, be upset and say that it's men's fault. That's exactly where we're at now.
Yeah, it's crazy to that point in your example right there at 35 and expecting to be desired by a bunch of men. Again, going back to the biological thing.
Right.
At 35 years old, like, I'm sorry, that's statistically very difficult to bear children.
Yeah.
And multiple if a man is looking for that. And so that there's that issue, but also to your point about the culture that we've created, father government at this point with the welfare system has essentially made it easy to go and not need a man.
Right.
But to her question, why do we need men? Well, piggybacking off of Jordan Peterson and Taylor, whenever they talk about, okay, well, we need men to keep the lights on most of the time because they're the ones working in the difficult jobs of climbing power lines and working on transformers or out, drilling for oil, although that, touchy subject right now.
touchy subject.
But
not in this country.
Yeah. Deepwater Horizon. Like, I know there are women that are out there, but the majority of those people doing the very laborious and difficult roles out there, keeping the lights on and keeping food on the table, are men. So you kind of need them.
Right. And when you look at like the issue of not having dads in America, it's contributing to every single societal ill that we're experiencing. Like people in jail, homeless, obese, domestic abusers, rapists, people who go into schools and shoot up schools. A lot of these issues that we experience as a country right now are linked to the lack of strong masculine father figures in the household in order to pass on those traits and pass on a healthy way to experience masculinity and to express it into the world. So that is what you need men for. And what is so interesting to me is that I bet if you go through this girl's dating history, or maybe even look at who she's dating right now, 100% bet he's masculine. I bet he's a masculine man, and that this is all just talk, and that when she goes home to her boyfriend will be like, okay, yeah, I know that's not real at all. It's because women will say one thing and go out and do the exact opposite. And they will say it with such confidence, like the amount of confidence she had saying that, when you know she's going to be looking for a masculine man, which is probably going to be a little bit difficult to find a man more masculine than this sort of stuff that she's saying. And that would be the best way to be in a relationship, but you're going to, I mean, good luck looking for that. But they don't want what they actually say. They say all this, and they say we want equality, until equality means like you have as high as a suicide rate. You guys are spending just as much time in jail. You're getting in as many fights as men. You have to take care of all the protection and security that men take care of in their daily lives. As soon as that comes to the table, you're like, oh, I didn't mean that. I meant the fun parts. Like, that's the part that I want. I meant the part where you sleep around and you're sexually promiscuous and you're so unattached and you don't care about things, but I don't care about the actual weight and the burden that men carry in our society. We don't need to talk about that, and also I don't want it, which is where we land on these things typically. Now,